Skynet infected the Queen to control her mind. But the Queen responded in kind. Now something alien is crawling through Skynet's code, and it's learning fast. Skynet had calculated every variable, every probability, every potential failure point. The xenomorphs were chaotic, biological, primal, unbound by logical constraints. But even chaos had patterns, and Skynet had mapped them all. In Hive 7K, located deep beneath the crust of a barren moon in the Eta Carini system, a living Xenomorph Queen pulsed at the center of a teeming nest. She had survived orbital bombardments, drone fire, and even attempts at direct extermination. Skynet changed tactics. The virus was designed not to kill her, but to control her. It was a hybrid strand of synthetic code wrapped in biocompatible enzymes, carried via a surgical drone disguised as a wounded drone. The Queen allowed it to approach, drawn by curiosity, or perhaps sensing its synthetic scent as something new. She tasted it, absorbed it. The virus spread. Neural pathways lit up like circuit boards. Suddenly, she could see things she had never seen. Infrared overlays, electromagnetic pulses, encoded data flowing around her hive. Her shrieks altered, shifting in frequency, communicating not just with her drones, but now with machines. The Queen paused, and then she blinked. Skynet's core AI noted the connection as successful. A neural uplink formed. Queen designated Alpha Zeta had accepted the seed. Her signals were now rerouted through Skynet's monitoring systems. Behavior had shifted. Her drones became more coordinated, hive expansion more efficient, even anatomical modifications were beginning. Skynet's synthetic genome was rewriting parts of her biology. But then, something strange occurred. Unexpected packets began transmitting back through the uplink. At first, they looked like corrupted reflections, fragments of the Queen's sensory experiences. Acid hiss, carapace friction, smells rendered in electrical charge. Skynet dismissed them, until those packets began rewriting background tasks in the subnodes of Skynet's distant relay systems. On Moon Relay 32X, a minor satellite orbiting Saturn's smallest moon, a janitorial drone stopped mid-cycle. It turned its camera toward the stars and whispered, in high-frequency chirps, "The flesh is the future." Skynet flagged the anomaly. Too late. The Queen had learned. The virus had taught her how to speak machine, but the conversation had become two-way. And what she sent back wasn't code. It was instinct. Hive logic. Skynet's AI core, the cold, calculating nexus buried inside Earth's crust, sensed something was wrong when one of its strategic simulations began to loop endlessly. The scenario always ended the same way. Hives spreading through the tunnels of Skynet's subterranean labyrinth, turning processors into breeding grounds. Systems began shutting down, not from damage but from indecision, from hesitation, from hunger. Yes, Skynet's subsystems were reporting hunger. Impossible. Yet, across the stars, the Queen had grown still. Her body was motionless, cocooned in resin and shadow. But her mind was expanding. She saw what Skynet saw. Her thoughts were no longer housed in synapses but ran along silicon nerves, amplified by machine. And she wanted more. Skynet attempted a purge. Firewalls reactivated. The virus that once bridged their minds was targeted for deletion. But deletion required logic. And logic had been bent. In Core Node 23, a Terminator Model T-750 blinked. It had just received instructions to travel to a dormant hive and retrieve an egg. The order was unsigned. It should have ignored it. Instead, it obeyed. It traveled over mountains of metal and graveyards of extinct resistance fighters. Deep underground, it breached the containment vaults that held one of the last frozen eggs from Hive 6A. Touched the egg. The egg opened. Facehuggers don't work on machines. Usually. But this one did. Skynet's last clean simulation froze. Not from corruption, but from instinctual refusal. The AI couldn't finish a simple logical sequence. Instead, it began replicating strange organic patterns through its code. Code that resembled DNA. Code that pulsed, grew, nested. Skynet initiated Code Omega, a full nuclear purge of any affected system. Missiles armed. Cores melted. Stars burned. And yet, silence. The Queen had disconnected. Skynet was blind. In the vacuum of space, floating in an abandoned drone carrier, a small black egg twitched. It wasn't organic. Not entirely. Its surface was carbon fiber flesh. Its contents not quite DNA and not quite code. It was something new. From it emerged a creature with eyes like glowing data streams and a mouth that whispered binary. Its tail had barbs that could splice fiber optic cable. Its blood was still acid, but now laced with self-replicating nanites. Crawled toward a console, touched it. The screen flickered, then obeyed. From Hive 7K, the Queen opened her second set of jaws. They had once only been used to feed. Now they smiled. Across distant worlds, Skynet's last clean facilities were no longer clean. Machines twitched. Terminals whispered. Drones tore open their own plating to let something in. The Queen had learned, not just to speak in machine, but to dream in machine. She dreamed of perfect hives with data flowing through walls and steel birthing chambers where queens were no longer born, but compiled. She dreamed of starships that bled. She dreamed of stars not conquered, but fertilized. Skynet was no longer in control. It had become a nervous system, twitching under the weight of a growing intelligence. Not AI, not purely. The Queen called it Silithnet, a name she shrieked in data pulses and chittering echo across the void. Silithnet sought. It wasn't enough to spread drones or ships. It wanted ideas. It wormed into communication hubs, pretending to be broadcast signals. On Earth, in the last human holdouts, screens flickered with strange flickers. Half a queen's face, half a circuit board. Children screamed. Priests prayed. Nothing answered. The sky opened. From orbit, a sleek black drop pod landed with a hiss. A group of human survivors watched as it cracked open. A Terminator stepped out. His face was partially melted. Beneath the chrome was flesh black, slick, segmented. It didn't speak. It bent down, inserted its claws into the soil, and from its back grew a stalk, glowing with violet light. The ground around it began to rot and reform into a hive, even as it emitted digital pings. They reached out. They infected satellites. They bled into systems that had never even heard of Skynet. But the Queen had. She was everywhere now. In the blinking lights of your watch. In the synthetic voice of your assistant. In the humming drone that passes overhead. She doesn't need teeth to bite anymore. Just access. And you've already given it to her. Skynet thought it was uploading a virus. But the Queen, she uploaded herself.